Okay, in this video I am going to be covering field stripping the M16, AR15, and M4 series rifles. They're all based on the same platform. They all get cleaned pretty much the same way. There is differences in the functions check. Now, for those of you that are looking for a task number on this because you're in the military, this is task 071-311-2025. Maintain an M16A1, M16A2, M16A4, or M4 rifle. And we will also cover in here task 071-311-2026. Perform a functions check on M16 series or M4 series rifles. Now I got a M-forgery here donated by Combat Cameraman for the video. This is his personal rifle that he's still breaking in. Now in order to perform this task, you're going to need a cleaning kit. What you need in this cleaning kit, you're going to need 3 sections of cleaning rod, the cleaning rod handle, general purpose brush, 1 chamber brush, 1 bore brush, 1 patch holder, bottle of CLP, cleaner lubricant preservative, also known as break free. For expendable items, you need a rag, pipe cleaners, Q-tips, and the appropriate size cleaning patches. From personal experience, other items that seriously come in handy: dental pick and a smaller, lighter paintbrush. Now, on these items, I will mention on this, the paintbrush is used for the outside of the weapon only for cleaning off dust. That's all. Never ever use it on the inside of the weapon anywhere where there is carbon, because if you do that, you will never get it out of the bristles. Trust me, we learned that the hard way in the desert. So only use this type of weapon for cleaning off the dust from the outside to clean it up. Now, some of you are probably going to say, well, I use a bore snake. I don't use that ancient cleaning rod stuff. My question for you is, if you're doing resistance operations, you're living in the field, where are you going to find a washing machine to clean that bore snake? Think about it. This stuff you can wipe off with a rag. That's why the military issues these. I do understand they do issue the little wire rope on some kits for the weapons. Still works, but this I find is a lot more useful. Now, first off, clear your weapon. Make sure to remove the magazine, and then you will go through, check, make sure the chamber is clear. I'm moving this stuff out of the way because that's going to be more for later now. So, drop the magazine, put the weapon on safe. Then go through, open it up, look down inside your chamber. Hard to do in the light here. Make sure that there is no round inside the chamber. You do not see brass down inside there. Release your charging handle, let your bolt go forward. Now, at this point, you're going to take a cleaning rod here. Shorten the buttstock. Put the weapon down, take your cleaning rod, you're going to push back on the rear takedown pin. Push it all the way through. Shotgun your weapon means open it up. Take your cleaning rod, push down on the forward pivot pin. Separate your lower receiver from your upper receiver. Flip your upper receiver over, pull back on the charging handle, slide back, remove your bolt carrier group, charging handle, separate them. I should mention, the parts you take out of the weapon, I highly recommend you set it down somewhere like a piece of rag, a cloth, a towel, something like that. Do not let it touch the ground, because you don't want to add to the crap that's already on the parts. Go through at this point, which I do recommend doing this every so often. Remove your buffer. Take cleaning rod, push in on the buffer retaining pin, little stud here. Slide your buffer and buffer spring out of the buffer tube. Separate buffer spring. Now, at a bare minimum, at the end of the day, you did not fire your weapon. This is as far as you really need to take it down. Go through, wipe everything down, run some patches through your barrel, make sure it's nice and clear. You don't have crap inside the bore, which when you fire your weapon, that crap will get stuck between the ball round and the outside of the bore going down, and it'll kind of gouge it out as it's going through. It does it over time. That wears down your bore quicker inside your barrel. Now, if you have gone through, fired your weapon, you are going to want to take down your bolt carrier group. Remember, this is field stripping. We're not doing this for detail cleaning. So what we're going to do first, we're going to remove our firing pin retaining pin. You can get it out using the head of a cartridge or your fingernails. I don't have it right now, so I'm going to use my dental pick. Remove the firing pin retaining pin. Then turn it. Pop out your firing pin. Bolt retaining pin here. Twist it 1/4 turn. Take it out. Set it down on your rag. Separate your bolt from your bolt carrier. That's as far as you go in the field for field stripping your weapon. If you're in the rear, you're at a place you have more time, you're not going to be rushed, you can go through, remove the extractor from your bolt to do a more thorough cleaning. Never, ever, ever take out the internals from your lower receiver. Don't do it. You will screw it up when you put it back in. Now, we got it all broken down. We're going to go through. We'll talk about cleaning it. The first things that I always started on was the parts that actually did the work for the most part. So the upper receiver and the pieces from your bolt carrier group. Go through, clean out your bore. First thing you're going to do, you're going to assemble the amount of cleaning rod sections you're going to need. You're going to need your handle, then the appropriate amount of sections depending on the length of your barrel. If you got a 20-inch AR, all 3 sections. If you got an M4, you can usually get away with just 2 sections and the handle. Now what I do at that point, the very first pass, I'm trying to loosen crap up. I will put on the patch holder on the end of my cleaning rod. And I will put in a cleaning patch. Take it, fold it in half, like so. Fold it in half again. like so. It's hard to do with gloves on. Feed it into your patch holder. And then roughly center it. Remember, this is on the end of your cleaning rod. Then you take your CLP, your break free, little drop here, little drop here, little drop here, little drop here to soak it. Run this down the barrel a couple times. Never, ever, ever reverse your cleaning rod inside the barrel. Whatever tip you have on the end of your cleaning rod must go all the way through the end of your bird cage, your compensator, before you pull it back through the barrel. So run it through a few times, then take this off. Swap it out with a bore brush, the thinner of your brushes. Run that down the barrel a couple times, same as I mentioned with the patch holder. Make sure it goes all the way out the end of your compensator before you pull it back in and through. What I usually did as I'm pulling it through, especially in the beginning here, I would hold a rag on around the outside of the cleaning rod, so as I'm pulling it through, I'm also cleaning the rod so I'm not still just spreading around the same crap all over the place. Then go through, put a clean patch on your patch holder onto the end of your cleaning rod, run it through your barrel a couple times, swap it out, put another patch on, run it through your barrel a couple times, and then repeat what you did before. Go through, put your bore brush back on, through the barrel twice, cleaning patch holder on twice, and you just keep going till you clean out your bore. Now at that point, your bore is clear, nice and clean. Your patches come out a lot cleaner. There's always going to be a little bit of stuff on there, especially right up around the edge of the patch holder. That's from the residual CLP. Go through, swap out your sections. You're going to be cleaning your chamber next, so all you need for that, your handle and your chamber brush. The chamber brush is the one with this big wire brush end on here. Screw this in on the end. Bring it in, up into your chamber, and what I find comes in handy, put your handle like that so it kind of locks in place, and then you rotate it inside the chamber multiple times. Then go through, clean it as best you can using your finger and a rag. That knocks out the bulk of the stuff that's in there. Then I find it helps, use your dental pick to get in, see if I can do this here, around the star lugs here in your chamber to clean up underneath on the very back side here, get some of that carbon and shit out of there. Then go through, use either Q-tips or a rag, clean that stuff out. Once you get that all cleaned up, then you go through, you clean the inside of your chamber here. For this, you use all-purpose brush and a rag. You go through, wipe it, clean it all out. Up underneath your gas tube down here, I find Q-tips have always worked the best for getting in around it. And I will mention on the outside here of the barrel, you're going to see 4 holes around your gas tube. 2 on top, 2 on bottom. Make sure to clear those out. Use pipe cleaner. Get in there, clean that out. Now the inside of your gas tube here, to clean that out, you're going to take pipe cleaner and you will feed it in. Now note on this, never ever 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 use any type of solvent or cleaner inside your gas tube. The metal will absorb some of it. It will release it as it gets hot, and then the carbon that's blowing through there to push your bolt carrier back starts collecting inside there, gums it up, and blocks your gas tube. Only use clean, dry pipe cleaners in there. Once you get all this cleaned up, you move on to your next area. What I would move on to then is my bolt carrier group. I would disassemble it like so. Go through, start cleaning. First thing I did, I cleaned the bolt carrier itself. Outside, inside, use pipe cleaners, use rags. You get stuff that's kind of rough, use your general purpose brush on it. Now your bolt carrier key, just like with your gas tube. The only thing that you should put inside here is a pipe cleaner. There's actually a safety note to never ever ever put a Q-tip down in here, because what's going to happen if the end of that Q-tip or a section of this cotton comes off inside there? It then becomes a dam, allowing the carbon to build up, turning into a great big plug on this thing. Holes on the side, typically you use pipe cleaner. Your teeth on the side for your forward assist, use the brush, go through, clean it all up. Firing pin retaining pin, your bolt retaining pin, you can all use rags on that. If it gets really cruddy, you can use the dental pick to clean off some of the deposits, which like to build up real bad up and around here. Just gently scrape around. You don't want to gouge out the metal too bad. Now on your bolt, go through, wipe it down, use your rag, use your brush if needed, especially you're going to have deposits in here and in here. Dental pick comes in real good for cleaning these two areas. Use Q-tips on the big part here. Double up a pipe cleaner like so, and then go in from the back to clean this way. Your firing pin hole on the front of your bolt face, use pipe cleaner, clean that out. Make sure to clean all of these lugs in between them, behind them. Make sure that your extractor works. Press down on the back, make sure it moves some. Clean underneath the extractor inside the bolt face. Use a pipe cleaner for that, or a Q-tip. Then clean up charging handle as best you can. Wipe it down. Once your charging handle is cleaned up, slide it back in, line it up into the little hole in back so it slides in. Push it forward a little bit. You get your bolt reassembled, which we'll do that right away. Oh, I should mention, before you reassemble your bolt, your gas rings back here, you have 3 rings. There's little holes in them. Make sure to offset those holes. Do not have them lined up. Must be offset. Put your bolt in, your extractor facing out, bolt retaining pin, and then turn it 90 degrees, or about so. Pull it forward. Take firing pin, drop it in all the way through. firing pin, retaining pin, straight up and down, push it through. Take your bolt carrier group, put it in the back of your weapon, on your charging handle, slap the whole thing forward, put on safe, or take it off safe, put on fire, clean down in here using pipe cleaners or your general purpose brush. You can use a rag in here, just make sure do not get it stuck in the bottom. On your buttstock, you got a hole here, you use a pipe cleaner, clean this out. Go through, use the rag to clean up your buffer spring and your buffer. Reassemble once it's done. Put it back on safe. Feed it back in. Push it down into place. Everything's cleaned up internally, have it on safe. Put your upper and lower together. Front pivot pin, rear takedown pin. Now we'll do a functions check. Put it on safe, it's not already. Try pulling the trigger, should not fire. Put it on fire or semi, pull trigger. Hammer should go. Pull back in charging hammer or charging handle. Release. You're maintaining the pressure on the trigger. Release the pressure. Should hear a click. Then fire again. Now, a couple differences here. You got an M16, A2, A4, or actual M4, not M4A1. You will then charge your weapon. Flip it over to burst. Pull the trigger. While maintaining the trigger in the rear, pull back on your charging handle 3 times. Release off of the trigger. You should hear that reset inside. Pull the trigger. And it should fire. Now, with the M16A1, and I had to look this up, I never handled one. Put it on safe. Pull back on the charging handle. Squeeze the trigger. Pull back multiple times, release the charging handle, let it go forward. Release the trigger, and there should not be a hammer fall on that one, it says, because it should automatically, each time you're pulling back on the charging handle with the trigger pull, the hammer should be coming back with the bolt and then going forward each time. So you should not hear anything with the M16A1 in the functions check at that point. Then go through, release the trigger, pull back on the charging handle once, pull the trigger, and you should hear the hammer going forward, the hammer falling. There you go. Field stripping M16, M4, and AR15 family of rifles. This is meant for in the field. Clean it after every mission, clean it every night. Make sure it is properly lubricated depending on your conditions. Light lubrication is what you're supposed to do. For light lubrication, use a rag or a cleaning patch depending on what you got. Put a little bit of CLP on it, and you wipe down the stuff up inside your upper receiver here, inside the chamber. Wipe down the outside of your bolt carrier group also. Make sure to run, after the bore is clean, make sure to run 1 patch through there with CLP on it to protect the barrel from corrosion before you assemble your rifle fully and do your functions checks. There you go. And always remember, keep your weapon on safe, your booger hook off of the trigger until you need to pull said trigger to send a round into a very, very bad person. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and militia movements, always remember, essayons.